Hello, everybody. Thank you once again. First of all, I want to bring to your attention many questions that many patient has asked me in the past. Like for example, how many chelation therapy do I need to have in order for me to see some signs of positiveness in terms of this therapist? How many infusions therapies in terms of vitamins or minerals or amino acids or ozone and UV light do I need to take in order for me to see a positive result? Well, today I'm going to bring to you the fundamental concept that will open your mind to actually understand if we can really tell you with one or two or three therapies you could see the effect of these positive therapies. Let's see what's happening. Once again, thank you and please subscribe to my channel. Hello, how are you? I hope you are okay. Now, before I start, you know me, okay? I'm gonna get first my teapot, right? With Pauli, it's a black tea, in which after the age of 40, that's the best one you wanna be drinking in the morning or during the day. Pauli tea. Cheers. Today, I'm going to bring to you um, the fundamental mechanism of free radicals, of what it causes, the oxidative stress, of the reason why more than 95% of metabolic syndrome diseases such as hypertension, cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, hypercholesterolemia. I don't know if I mentioned diabetes, but diabetes is there too. Polycystic kidney disease, ovarian cystic or polycystic disease, cancer, among many other stuff. And I'm going to give you the basis in chemistry or biochemistry. Why I want to do that? Well, it was a patient about a couple of days ago that he asked me if I do chelation within one therapy, two therapy, or three or four or five, will I see results? And I have to be honest. I have to tell him, no, this is not something that you see. And perhaps this is not something that you feel. And I'm going to explain the reason why so that you understand what is a free radicals. Is your body producing free radicals? Are your cells producing free radicals? With what that surrounds me motivates or instigate the production of these free radicals, which is the one that is going to take your body, my body, to an oxidative stress, something bad, something that goes against aging. It makes you go old faster. It damages your cell. And at the same time, we are going to talk about from a biological point of view what God gave you and me, mechanism in how to regulate or how to handle these free radicals. All of that we're going to talk about it today. I hope you like it. And if you have any question, remember, write to me. Subscribe to my channel. Once again, this is Dante Joa. We're going to start now. Okay, first, let me start by introducing to you this table of natural and man-made or synthetic elements that we found in Earth or on Earth. Like for example, all these metals, minerals, that exist or coexist with all of us, they have properties. Good one, a bad one. There are minerals that we need just a little trace amount. There are minerals or metals that we need just either little or big amount in our body system so that our immune system, our cell, work efficiently. Now, one of the things that I'm going to bring to you now is the process of oxidation. And as you see here, let me get a marker here. Let me activate this. Let me put it in red. You see here, we have the hydrogen element. And if you see on to your left here, in the outside of that atom, we have an orbit, a shell, and it says electron. Then the other shell or the other orbit has the neutrons inside the nucleus and the protons. Now it happens to be that if you could see here, there are two electrons in the outer orbit. So when one atom loses one electron, okay, it's now no more a pair, it's just now one. Because it lost that electron, that is what we call oxidation. So when an element loses, when an atom loses one electron, it becomes oxidized. So oxidation is a loss of hydrogen or a loss of electron. And when that atom, when that cell loses an electron, it's now unstable. It means it's not stable. And that's when we call it bad radical, because now this atom is not functioning properly, and it will cause many reactive oxygen species, such as hydrogen peroxide, such as superoxide. All right, so these players are not really good into a certain amount of, let's say, level, because our body produces it, and we're going to talk about that. Let me just erase this now. Okay. Oh, let's go here now. Let's go here. Okay, now. Okay. So once again, these are elements that we found in nature. These are elements that man already have made. These things that you see in colors, those are heavy metals or metals, and they cause toxicity to you. They cause inflammation to you. They cause oxidative stress to you. They cause brain, central nervous system dysfunction. They will cause mitochondrial dysfunction. And I'm going to show you what is a mitochondria. They cause cardiovascular disease. They cause cancer, diabetes, everything, mostly up to 95% of all common diseases that we see today are caused by these free radicals. And I'm going to explain to you how that happens. Let me just change this slide. Check this out. You could easily see here one atom flowing around and another atom approaching and stealing one electron. That is what we call oxidation. This happens in milliseconds, and it's like a chain reaction that it constantly occurs in your cell, in my cell, in our body. All right. Now, let me just say this. Your body, my body, is composed of 60% of water. That means that if you don't drink water, you're going to have dehydration in different places in your body, because the water, when you drink it, doesn't go to one specific place. It goes through a blood vessel compartment, what we call vascular compartment. It goes into the tissue, into the organs, and it also goes in between the tissue and in between the organs, interstitial compartment. So when you don't drink enough water, you will cause a dehydration, a loss of water in any of these given compartments. Proteins is part of our food, what we eat. Proteins comprise 70% of your body weight. Lipids, 15%. Minerals, only 5%. Why do I mention minerals? Because remember, we're going to be talking about free radicals, oxidation, atoms, elements, metals, heavy metals, toxicants. We only need trace amount of these minerals. Nucleic acid. When we talk about nucleic acid, we're talking about DNA. RNA is only 2% of our human body weight. And then we have carbohydrates, sugars. Look what it says there, 1%. That means that the least of what we are made of, not made of what give us weight is sugar. In reality, your body, my body, does not require sugars to live. And why is that? If you see this graph here, it's a little complicated, but I'm going to simplify it. Don't worry about it. When we break down proteins, we break down proteins to get energy. When we break down carbohydrates, bread, rice, pasta, for example, we break that down into glucose for energy. Fat, lipids, triglyceride, cholesterol, when we break those lipids, we use that for energy. So from our meal, you don't need to consume sugar in order for you to make energy. And why I'm talking about this? We are talking about free radicals. We're talking about your metabolism. When we eat, when we digest what we are exposed to. If we look, in order for us to reproduce, to generate ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which you know it as energy. This goes into two phases. In a phase that requires oxygen, that means inside the cell, in the nucleus, and in an area that you don't require oxygen, in the cytoplasm. So in the cell, these things that you see here, let me mark it down for you guys. These things here, that's what we call the mitochondria. That's where we generate all the energy that is needed for every single cell of your body to work. It happens to be that when we do ozone therapy, activated oxygen, hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapies, that will enhance to reduce those free radicals. It will enhance to reduce the acid level that it is in your body or in any given cell. So oxygenation, we need it. You know why? Because oxygen is an electron acceptor. It means that when we have all these loose electrons from those atoms, the oxygen will capture that and then it will convert that into water. So oxygen therapy is very good in reducing the acidity, in reducing the electrons or free radicals. All right, so we are going to talk about oxidation. Remember that oxidation is a process by which we lose electrons. An atom loses electron. But why do I need to talk about sugar? First of all, let me just say this. In a study that was conducted in scientific studies, if a person eat 70 grams of glucose, that will increase 140% the production of a free radical known as superoxide. So when we talk about free radicals, we're talking about oxide, we're talking about superoxide, we're talking about hydrogen peroxide. So just by ingesting 75 grams, more of the double of what your body produces in a standard formation of free radicals, it increases too much. So sugar is not good. So when we break sugar, as you could see here, the process of oxidation will convert these molecules of glucose into CO2 and into water. And those are part of the things that your body has. Your body has a system in which you have more than 3 systems, which I'm going to name it in the next one. Okay, the body, your body, my body, it has something that we call superoxide dismutase, catalase, glutathione, peroxidase. So this mechanism that your and my body has, once again, catalase, superoxide dismutase, glutathione peroxidase, which I'm going to show you later on, they are there to control all these free radicals. Free radicals, your immune system produce it, because when we have an invader such as viruses, bacteria, parasites, anything that damage our body, your immune system will produce a specific amount of hydrogen peroxide, even oxide dismutase, oxide, superoxide, or oxide, and those things will like kill all these invaders. But if it goes beyond normal production, now it causes harm to you and to me. And that is the reason why we need oxygen. We need this mechanism of activation to decrease this formation of free radicals. All right, so if you see here, remember that I told you that God, he gave us a specific mechanism to control these free radicals. And as I was saying, in number 1, superoxide is a free radical. In number 2, hydrogen peroxide is a free radical. In number 3, hydroxy radical is a free radical. All of them, we could call them, there are hundreds of them, okay, thousands of them, but we're going to call this all oxidative stress or reactive oxygen species. But it happens to be that in biochemistry, your body has the property to detoxify, to break it apart, and to take this radical into water. And as you know, 60% of your body is water under normal condition. But guess what? This system, catalase, and you know catalase because it ends in ASE, that is an enzyme. Catalase will convert these reactive oxygen species into water, but it depends of iron. So that means if you're low in iron, you have a problem. This enzyme will not get activated and it will not decrease these electrons or free radicals. Then you also have, this is here, then you also have the superoxide dismutase. Remember, anything that end in ASE, normally we're going to call that what? An enzyme. So in this case, if you look, superoxide dismutase, that's another enzyme that it will break these free radicals that you see here, and it will turn that into water, which is good. But guess what? If you have low amount of magnesium, zinc, and copper, this superoxide dismutase will not activate and will not do the job that it's supposed to do. Are you checking this out? Then we also have what is called glutathione peroxidase. So remember, it ends in ASE. So this glutathione also activate this mechanism of converting these free radicals into water. But if you're low in selenium, which is another mineral, okay, it won't be able to get activated. But that's not it. If you have metals such as lead, mercury, copper, cadmium, if you have these in great quantities, they will also block the superoxide dismutase. This will also block the catalase, and it will also block the glutathione reductase. So this enzyme will not be able to really work. I think that I misspell the enzyme of the glutathione reductase, as the name suggests, reduce. Okay, is inactivated and then will activate. But for all of this, you need the B vitamins, niacin, riboflavin. All of that, you need cofactors, help. And that is the reason why chelation, the B vitamins, trace minerals have to be put into this system so that your own, let's say, immune system or body system or controls of these reactive oxygen species take place. You see why you need to believe in God? This is not normal. That couldn't be created by nature. This is specific to protect you and I. Now, this is a cell, a human cell. What I'm going to show you here is the mitochondria. You see that? You see this? There are many of them in every cell of your body, with the exception of the red blood cells. But that's another matter. This is where energy, ATP, is created. So if we have a consumption in sugar, fructose, heavy metals, free radicals, it will damage the mitochondria. Therefore, you and I will feel fatigue, without energy, and your cell will not be functioning properly. That's not even talking that your DNA will get a disruption of the membrane. Therefore, you will have mutations, which we call epigenetic changes, and that is what is going to go to open the door for cancer and for damage in cell regeneration and anti-aging. So once again, I ask you, are free radicals good? Is glucose good? You know the answer. No, it is not. And you know how many of these cells you and I have? More than 60 trillion cells in your whole body organ. So when your mitochondria are not working perfectly or effectively, you have what is called mitochondrial dysfunction, which is part of the metabolic syndrome, which is the reason why your cells are not working properly, which is the reason why you are in a constant state of inflammation. And that's the reason why you have many diseases. And that's what we call metabolic syndrome. This is just to show you some things that you could actually see. Because remember, this is happening in milliseconds inside of every cell of your body when we are exposed to these free radicals, these metals. Look, oxidation. You already know that oxidation is a loss of electron. So if you look to your left, what it says normal cell right here, when it's invaded by these free radicals, by these metals, by these oxide or superoxide or hydrogen peroxide or hydroxy radicals, they will disrupt the cell membrane, and that will cause what we know as oxidation. Then the cell will start to die. Look at the example. You see a tomato, look beautiful. You have seen a tomato go bad, go rot, okay? Why that happens? Because now it's in a normal state. It is attacked by free radicals, and then the tomato will die, the cell will die. Well, it happens to be that that's what happened to even not only the tomato, but any plants or meat or proteins or substance. Why? Because these free radicals are not good. Now, check this out. Look, I'm just going to give you a few examples of how these free radicals damage this type of tissue. Now, as I was saying, what glucose does, it disrupts, it changes the mechanism of metabolic cellular responses by producing a lot of free radicals. And we said that these free radicals will increase the production of superoxide. Now, when you have superoxide in your system, it will block something that happens to your blood vessels. Your blood vessels, your veins, arteries, and capillary, they will dilate. And on the normal condition, they will dilate or they will constrict. Okay. Now, it happens to be that when we have this superoxide to a higher level, okay, that will block nitric oxide. And nitric oxide helps in vasodilation, meaning reducing your blood pressure. So if you suffer from hypertension, I really want nitric oxide because it will open up the blood vessels so that more blood goes and less pressure occurred. So free radicals interfere with that. And as you can see here, it will interfere, it will damage endothelial dysfunction, not only in blood vessel, but also in the heart, but also in the kidney, also in the brain. And when we talk about the brain, remember, we're talking about depression, neurotransmitter problems, the stress hormone going crazy, such as epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol. These hormone that will have your body in a fight flight mode, hyperactive. And when you are in a stress mode, in a hyperactive, you produce what? More free radicals. Why? Because you're burning more glucose, you create more energy, and as a byproduct of this burning of energy, you will have more free radicals. Your immune system will respond by doing inflammation. You see what I'm talking about? So free radicals are not good. Glucose is not good. And why they are not good? Once again, let me erase this. Why they not good? Because they will increase all this oxidative stress, which will damage each of every mostly system of your body. So you cannot think that with 1, 2, 3, or 4 chelation that you're going to get rid of these free radicals or you're going to detoxify your body that fast. It is impossible to say. Remember that we had, and I urge everybody to look for it, the TAC trial by Dr. Gervasio Lamas, a cardiologist of Columbia University and Mount Sinai Hospital, which did a study to see if chelation really worked. And what it came as a result in a double-blind studies, meaning when it says double-blind, it means that not even the doctor, not even the patient knows if they're given a placebo, or let's say water, okay, or the actual medication, in this case, the chelation. So they didn't know. So after 10 years and after thousands of patients, they came up with all the positive results that chelation not only opens the blood vessels free of these calcification, these free radicals, these increases of oxidation in tissue, but also extends people's life. It's an anti-aging. It reduces the chances of getting a heart attack. It reduces the chances of dementia. It helps the kidney and it improves your immune system. So you have nothing to lose by going to a therapy. Now, the therapy that they did was between 20 to 40 chelations. You heard that? Between 20 to 40 chelations, that's what they did. Not 10 chelation, one therapy per week. There were some that did one therapy per week. There were some that did 2 therapies per week. It doesn't matter. After you get into 30 chelations, then the other 10, you alternate that one every 3 weeks or one every month. And that will be great for you, reducing the chances of you getting what? A heart attack, cardiovascular disease. It will also, it did help. It did help completely with diabetes and with cancer patient and with cholesterolemia when the cholesterol was very high. So once again, oxidative stress will be induced by reactive oxygen species, as I have it here. Reactive oxygen species will take us into oxidative stress. So if we don't have enough antioxidant, we have a problem. So we want to increase antioxidants such as vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C, okay, and minerals also, and also alpha lipoic acid, because when we have all these in an increased level that are therapeutic, it will reduce these reactive oxygen species. So if we have less antioxidant, if we don't have enough vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin B, all the family, glutathione, alpha lipoic acid, if we don't have that, we are bombarded by metals, your reactive oxygen species will increase, and that will create what? An oxidative stress. That is the source. So once again, do you want to have reactive oxygen species such as oxide, superoxide, hydroxyl radicals, hydrogen peroxide? No, you don't want to have that in the levels that will harm you and your immune system and your tissue. Okay, so when we are talking about antioxidant, what I'm talking about, I want to be able to stop the loss of electron, because if those free radicals will attack the cell will die or it will be dysfunction. So what I'm talking about, for example, I'm talking about vitamin C. But you just don't want vitamin C, you want beta C. It's not just any type of vitamin C. And if you're going to take vitamin C in the forms of a tablet, you want to have it as ascorbic acid or as carbon ascorbic acid. I'm sorry, calcium ascorbic acid. Those are very good source of vitamin C. Now, when you take vitamin E, which many people go crazy because of the bottle. If the bottle says vitamin C, vitamin E, let's say that the bottle says vitamin E, you will take it thinking that it's a good source of antioxidant, that it will block this loss of electrons. But do you know that vitamin E requires or is made of 8 parts? It has 4, let me write it down here, tocopherol and tocotrienol. They are the one that will help you as an antioxidant. So if you buy a bottle of vitamin E, make sure that it has tocopherols, okay, and it has tocotrienols. Now, the majority of vitamin E that you see, it says alpha tocopherol. Alpha tocopherol. No, that's not good. Remember that. This is man-made. It's a synthetic vitamin. Okay, so you don't want that. Why not? Well, your body will not be able to auto repair itself. Okay, so when you don't have enough of these enzymes as glutathione reductase, as catalase, as superoxide dismutase, when they are not activated, they won't be able to correct, to block these free radicals. Let me erase. So once again, it's not just any type of vitamin C, it's not just any type of vitamin E that you need. You have to remember that, okay? So we are going to continue talking about these free radicals. Remember that an antioxidant, what exactly an antioxidant is going to do? Let me again mark it down. It will block that any other atom will remove an electron. Remember, if there is, let's say that I have an atom here of, let's say, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. Let's say that over here you have one electron and you have another electron here. It is balanced, okay, because there are two of them. But if somebody else comes and take that electron away and you only have one, now it's missing one. This is -1. Now this here is oxidized. It means start to die, to malfunction, and you don't want that. And that is the reason why we want to have all the time that your gene, your DNA, your repair system is motivated by all these enzymes, minerals, and vitamins that will protect you and I against the loss of these electrons and against these metals, this poison that really damage you and that damage me. And that's not even to tell you that these free radicals, they block a specific enzyme or a specific factor for transcription of DNA, of information, or repair protein. We call that, listen carefully, NRF2. Let me write it down. NRF2. That will help your body specifically to regenerate, to fix what is going wrong in terms of DNA, in terms of genetic information. But guess what? They will not be activated because of these heavy metals. Now, when you are, there is something very good, right? We want to know about how can we activate more of the NRF2, that factor that contributes to fixing, to regenerate, to help your DNA, you and I. So if you get like curcumin or curcumin, resveratrol, green tea, also ginkgo biloba, I don't know if I pronounce it right, ginkgo biloba, okay? They have many substances that perhaps you have heard. They are known as bioflavonoids, okay? Which you want to take it in a percentage that is therapeutic, because you take medications, vitamins, minerals, herbs. It does not mean that you may be taking the proper amount in doses that are therapeutic. You have to remember that. It's like the same thing with the omegas. Okay, very good. But are you taking enough of the omegas? That's one thing that we have to understand. Okay, so once again, when we combine, let's say plants, let's say minerals, let's say vitamins and minerals, they will, and hopefully in the right amount, they will activate this NRF2, which is going to activate 2%, because it's only 2% of our 500 genes that regulates three type of enzyme. Number one, enzyme that are anti-fibrotic, enzymes that are anti-inflammatories, and enzymes that are antioxidants. So once again, is this NRF2 important? Yes, it is, because it activates those enzymes that will help to regulate, to get rid of all these bad players in your body and eye. But again, by now, you probably know, do we really think that in one therapy we will be able, or two or three or four, to get rid of all these reactive oxygen species? Do you think so? No. No. I wish, but that's not the real reason. That's not the real scientific truth. So having a mixture in therapy of super nutrients, of chelation, ozone, ultraviolet V light that will initiate in the mitochondria the production of melatonin, which is a very potent antioxidant, 500 times more than vitamin C. Do you know that? Having glutathione, having alpha lipoic acid, all of this contributes to the reduction not only of these bad players, metals, heavy metals, detoxify your body, but to instigate, to react, to repair, to send signals to your DNA, to the RNA, to each cell of yourself to repair and to work better and more efficient. What can I tell you? Now, do you understand, my brother, my friend, when you said to me, in one therapy or two or three therapy, can I see something? No, you just can't. These are things that are inside your cell. You don't feel it. Like, for example, do you feel your gallbladder producing bile? Do you feel your intestine, what they have inside? Do you feel your heart or your blood vessels when they open and close? You may feel the palpation, but you don't really feel all these muscles, fibers to get elongated or get shorter. Do you feel neurotransmitter from one brain cell sends an electrical impulse or action potential to another cell? Do you feel when your brain produces norepinephrine? Do you feel when your adrenal glands or when any glands in your body produce any hormone? You don't feel that. That happens internally. And because of this, it's with time that you are going to see how your blood pressure will be reduced, how your biological self aging will stop. You will feel more energetic. Your skin is going to look better, glossy, less wrinkles. And if you have the wrinkles, it's going to be more thinner than what it was before. And all of that, why? Because a combination of all these therapies that will provide a better nutrition to you and to me from a cellular point of view. It happens to be, remember, that we all are surrounded by all these toxins, all these environmental poisons. And as you know, the largest organ of your body is the skin. Now, in the skin, you could put a patch of medication and the skin will absorb it. You know that? So if you are on the street and there are gases and there are toxins that are touching or getting close to your skin, what do you think your skin is going to do? The skin is going to absorb it. And when the skin absorbs that, where is going? Into your brain, eye, liver, kidney, bone, ovaries, testes, all over the place. And they will not live unless you do chelation. But you have to do first a therapy. I'm sorry, you have to do a test. It's called a urine toxicology comprehensive test exam. Normal labs don't have that test in which you have to collect the urine for 24 hours. We send that to a study to be analyzed, and it will tell you what the body's trying to get rid of. And once we do that, then we do chelation. Once we do chelation, after you do chelation, we're going to continue again, collect the urine for 24 hours, and then we're going to compare. We're going to compare before chelation and after chelation. And that is what is going to dictate if you need vitamins, minerals, or whatever else in order for us to chelate, to throw away all this toxin or poison. I hope you like this. Thank you very much. And remember, any question, bring it on to me. Take care.